I've lost that love and feeling in my own business. My client pool is dried up. My list is bored. What do we do? And the answer is change up how you're selling, change up how you're serving, and throw up a different beacon.
Hey there, peeps. This is Michelle Nedelak. Thank you for listening to the show. I would love if you could give us your opinion on how you felt about the show, your experience that you have in regards to what we've been talking about. I am having an absolute blast, but your input is like dynamite on that explosion. So give us your input. We'd love to hear from you. Any questions, comments, concerns? Give us everything you got. We love it. Thanks. I hope you're having an awesome day. Welcome to the Business Ownership Podcast, brought to you by Awareness Strategies, helping you navigate the waters between entrepreneurship and ownership. Hey there, peeps. This is Michelle Nedelak, and I'm super glad that you're here with us today because I'm here with my most amazing guest, Annie. Annie, thank you so much for being here with us today.
It is a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So give everybody the highlight of who you are and what you do for business.
So I am Annie P. Ruggles, human Muppet Rolodex hybrid, chuck all that together. I have two specialties over in the Non-Sleazy Sales Academy. I help highly empathic, heart on the sleeve service providers sell and receive beautifully with their personality and their ethics intact. And over on Quirk Works Consulting, I help people who have been in business for a while, who are so far past trying to get authentic and want to be leveraged in their weirdness, or at least their differentiations, to market in a more magnetic way over there. So smash those two things together, and it's I empower you to be more you in your business so that you can find them.
Love it. So how did you pick sales and marketing as your thing?
Well, the sales was completely accidental, as was the marketing, but the sales was a really big surprise. So my background is originally in musical theater, and musical theater kids need jobs. And I worked for Broadway in Chicago, here in Chicago, obviously. And they trained me up in marketing. And I realized that big theater marketing is not that different from small theater marketing. Small theater marketing is not that different than small business marketing, and made that transition that way. But I got this merry band together in one of my first iterations of business, and everybody around me had this like glorious marketing. We were all feeling so good. And then I looked around and I'm like, are any of us making any money at all? Like, I'm working 70 hours a week and I'm making no money. Are you making money? Are you making money? We have the best funnels I've ever seen. Are any of us making money? And no, nobody was. And so I looked at that and I thought, uh-oh, the common denominator here is me. So they're not making any money because of me, and I'm not making any money. So why am I not making any money? And it was because I had what I've now termed sales avoidance, which is this idea that if you just market and 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 deliver and deliver and deliver and deliver and deliver, that people will just voluntarily throw money at you. And the problem therein is that up to 86% of buyers desperately need to be asked, and more than once. So if you're not asking, you're not receiving, you're just marketing, and eventually you become resentful. And so that's how the Non-Sleazy Sales Academy was born, is I thought, if I can't be the only one who freezes at the point of sale, I can't be the only one. And I was freezing because the methods I had been taught or I had gleaned were the ways to sell badly. And I certainly didn't want to bring that into my business. So the Non-Sleazy Sales Academy was kind of this beautiful accident. And that was founded in 2019. And since then, now that everybody is doing better and more profitable, now people want to take bigger risk with their marketing again, but they want to keep it in-house. So Quirk Works is the resurrection of my previous marketing arm, kind of blended in to sales. So that one's a nice homecoming, but the sales departure, I always say, if I could go back in time and like find little me, if I wanted to depress myself, I'd be like, you teach sales, and then just run away. Like, no answer. Just watch like little me heartbreak, because I was stunned. Even when I first started doing it for months and months, people were like, what do you do? Like, I'm a sales trainer. Weird.
Aw, there's nothing wrong with that. It's super cute, actually. Well, and I find that so many entrepreneurs go around being busy, 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 and they wonder why it doesn't convert into sales. Like, I'm talking to people, I'm having conversations. When is money going to come in? It's like, when you ask them.
When you ask them and then get out of the own way of receiving the thing, right? Like you got to ask and then you got to be willing to receive. If you're not going to do that, then all you're doing is marketing.
Yeah. So when you're talking to entrepreneurs, kind of let's go through kind of what kind of chaos and fun are they creating for themselves, and then let's talk about the transition with you. But where do you find most people's heads are at before they get to you?
It's back in the day, I used to get a lot of early stage pre-revenue businesses. And so every now and then one will, groundhog up and be like, I'm new. What do I do? And I get excited because it feels like an old, like grand return, like, wait, you're not even going to make any mistakes. Okay, let's just jump in. But most of the time, people come to me when they are either at the point of a revenue ceiling that they just do not know how to break, no matter what they try, or they're in what I call six-figure boredom, which is they've blooded, they've sweated, they've teared all the way up to where they are. They got there. They're like, okay, now I can finally start relaxing a little bit and get what I want. What do I want? Or they get up to the six-figure mark, over the six-figure mark, up to 250 or something like that. And they go, all right, I'm going to go and do 100 podcasts. And I am so tired of saying the same shtick over and over. Or they come to me and they say, Annie, I already wrote the book. What am I supposed to do now? And I'm like, write another the book, right? But normally it's that idea of I've reached my capacity. I've either, not in a systems way, like I've reached my capacity for time, but I've reached my capacity. My thought leadership is dried up to me. I've lost that love and feeling in my own business. My client pool is dried up. My list is bored. What do we do? And the answer is change up how you're selling, change up how you're serving, and throw up a different beacon.
Nice, and love it. So when it comes to finding one's own quirks in business, I assume it's not that hard to find one's own quirks, but I also assume that people hide from their own quirks.
Oh yeah. And you can go about finding yours in a couple different ways. Some people prefer one and hate the other, and just as many are the reverse, right? Just as many are the looking glass of that. So I'm going to offer up both suggestions. The first one is look for a cross section of you. What I mean by that is you have multiple interests or multiple skills that have absolutely nothing to do with each other. My podcast, Too Legitimate to Quit, which is a small business strategy podcast with a pop culture spin, is because I'm an insufferable millennial who only speaks in pop culture references. And so with my clients, I'd be like, all right, okay, hold on. Once upon a time, there was this episode of Golden Girls where Sophia goes on a date, and all of my clients are like, oh, here she goes. Right. And so I
Awesome.
started thinking, what can I offer in the small business podcasting space, considering there's a gajillion of us and there's room for everyone? What can I bring? For me, the cross section of me is business strategist meets insufferable millennial. Right? Chuck in my signature enthusiasm. We have a show. We have a show unlike any other podcast show, right? Some people are like, the cross section of me, I don't know. What are you even talking about? For those people, I say, look at your competitors and look what they do that irritates the ever loving you know what out of you. And that right there might be one of your quirky differentiators. If you're like, I can't imagine they do this over and over, then run boldly in the opposite direction. Your quirks might be there.
They just might be. If you find yourself doing a soapbox episode and nobody's asked you a question, you found your quirk.
Yes, yes,
Love
yes,
it.
because I already we're saying I stand against this, and that's called differentiation. Right? If every single person down the line is having the fettuccine Alfredo, and then suddenly you're like, I'll have a hamburger, everyone's going to go, oh man, I should have ordered a burger too. What was I thinking? You were going with the herd. It's okay. Herd mentality is real. It keeps us safe. It's tribal, la, la, la. But it only takes one person to take a counteraction, which then gives everyone else in the ecosystem permission to consider their own counteraction. So your differentiation isn't just about you, it empowers boldness, it empowers other thinking in the people around you. So the ripple effect is huge. And then the differentiation becomes, oh, everyone around her or him or them is so, insert your differentiation here, because then you put that magnet up, the whole ecosystem changes.
Nice. Love it. So when you're working with somebody, how do they typically, how does it work? Do they, let's start hashing things out and see what's going on in the business and kind of have a couple of breakthroughs? Is it more strategy? Is it more, what does that look like when they come to see you?
So honestly, a lot of it, yes, I have to get to know your business. I can't advise you if I don't know your heart, your ethics, your ideal client, take the gooey good avatar stuff that all marketing strategists need to know, filter it through a Care Bear mentality, and then you'll get me, right? So like, what do you love? What's feeding you? What's lighting you up? What do they lean on you for? All that gooey goodness. But really, where the work begins is when we drop the marketing or selling shoulds. I cannot tell you, Michelle, how many people come to me and they are despondent because they go, well, I have to do a webinar. Well, I have to write a book. Well, they said I have to do 100 podcasts. Well, they said I have to be on TikTok. Well, they said I have to handle objections in this particular way, or I can only send 3 follow-up emails, or I have to send a 10 email sequence. And it's like, whoa. So a lot of the first step is actually unlearning and recalibrating from the have tos, because there are many paths. And yes, some of them are better practices than others. But when you tell someone who has a passion-led, client-centric business that they have to follow a certain caliber of behavior, or they have to rise to a certain challenge, and it's not the right challenge for them, what's going to happen is they're almost marketing under duress. Like, oh, I did another webinar because I have to do a webinar. And then you're like, well, my ads aren't working and my webinars aren't converting. Annie, why aren't my webinars converting? Do you want to be doing a webinar? And more importantly, if you do want to be doing a webinar, because webinars still work, if you do want to be doing a webinar, are you doing a webinar on your cross section? Are you offering a webinar that only you could offer? Because if your heart's not in it, if you're bored by your own funnel, we got a problem. And if you're bored in your own funnel, you're probably obeying some shoulds.
I love it. So when somebody kind of embraces their other sides, let's put it that way, and the market doesn't immediately respond. So they go, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to put out the marketing. It's super fun, and crickets.
So crickets happen less. Polarization happens more. It's not that crickets don't happen. Sometimes people are like, I'm not quite sure what to make of this. But the only solution out of that is the same exact solution as I would tell people with their boring standard marketing. Only consistency will sell. Right? Consistency, showing up day after day, unapologetic, delivering value, solving problems. Right? If you get crickets, you're solving the wrong problem. It's less about the tone and more about the solution that you're offering outside your paywall. Right? But when you're out and you're doing it and you're having fun, and you're allowing yourself to reach, and it doesn't have to be fun, right? Like, I know you're a humorist, I'm a humorist, right? And it's got to be passionate, whatever passionate. Like, I know you're a comedian, I'm a humorist kid. Like, we both have this, therapeutic humor love. And so for us, adding an element of humor or play is important. But for other people, it may be bringing the passion, bringing the fire, bringing the honesty, bringing the lack of apology, whatever it may be, right? But that will turn the wrong people off in a more aggressive way than them just getting bored and tuning out. So you may open yourself up to more haters, but what I notice is that the trolls feel like a whole lot less when you're having a darn good time.
Yeah.
Or when you're so inflamed in a great way, when you're like, look, I'm going to tell my truth today. I'm going to break this down. I'm going to kick my industry in the butt and pick my clients up and shake them and then love them and then shake them again. Then the haters are like, why would I want to learn sales from a fat girl? And in my brain, I'm like, cause I'm hilarious. Whereas back in the day when I did get that very real comment, why would I want to learn sales from a fat girl on my YouTube? It was on my webinar that I didn't care that much about. So I was like, you're right. Why would they? I don't know. Come at me now. Come at me now. This podcast is ridiculous. You think we just talked about The Last of Us and how it relates to zombies eating your money? You think it's ridiculous? Catch up, right? So crickets, yes, they happen. You're solving the wrong problem if they still happen. But the risk of diving back beyond authenticity into just full ownership of your diversity, of your differentiation, means you're going to become a more polarizing figure. And honestly, once you get over the initial pain of that, it's pretty liberating.
I love it. So give us an example of one of your Cinderella stories of one of your clients.
Oh, one of my Cinderella stories of one of my clients. There are so many. I have these amazing coach. They are best friends who are relationship coaches, and they're based in Canada, and they're called The Relationship Coaches, and their website is relationships, the letter R, and then everything.com. And I met them at somebody else's retreat, and we were just kind of kicking it together and learning and everything else. And they're like, I don't know, what do you want to do? Do you want to do another training? Do you want to do it this? And that was the tone, right? That was the whole brainstorm tone. If you're brainstorming in that tone, we got a problem. Okay. And so I said to them, they hadn't even hired me yet. I was like, what would you guys want to do? What would you want to do? And I'm going to keep it PG-13. We talked about this before, but they're like, you know what? We never get to talk about sex. We're relationship coaches and we don't get to talk about sex. And so I was like, well, what if we got real sexy with it? What might that look like? And then they're like, well, also, we're really funny and our friendship is really important. And I think if people see how we argue, they can learn something from that. So I was like, why don't y'all have a debate? There's two of you. The old question, what's more important, sex or emotional intimacy? Why don't we have a debate? What would that look like? And so I put up a ring, like a boxing ring background on this here magical Zoom. And they made like a Rocky montage video on their social media. I told them to make me a Rocky montage thinking that they would maybe possibly break a sweat. No. They went to a boxing gym, got in the whole gear, had videos of them sparring each other. It was cuckoo bananas. They had so much fun. We had dueling guides, so we put out 2 lead magnets at the same time, one for sex and one for emotional intimacy. And then we went on YouTube Live, and I made them duke it out, and I moderated. And what they had before that was like a PDF questionnaire kind of a thing that sort of felt hokey and cheesy to send out into the world. And now I literally have them boxing each other, even though they're on the same team, right? So they got to play in their expertise. And you could watch a million dry, boring, emotional intimacy is the foundation of any successful relationship. Or you can watch them be like, no, she's wrong. she's totally wrong. I mean, it is kind of important, but whatever. And here's why. And then push each other out of the way and take over and own their space together and play together and reveal their hearts together and solve the problems together in a new way. So yeah, they're my double Cinderellas. Just because they took my weird idea of having a debate and giving me a Rocky montage, and they just went far into the deep end. But
Cinderella
they
in
came to
boxing
me,
gloves. There's a new image.
right? But they came to me with this should of like, I guess we should do another live training. I guess we should put out another PDF. And I'm like, well,
Or not.
do you want to? Because we did. We put out a live training, but instead of a webinar, we put it out as YouTube Live, and we put out a PDF, but instead of one, we put out two, and we made them fight. Okay.
And it worked.
Yeah. The cross section of them is they're incredible relationship coaches who are amazing at what they do, but they're also a business run by two best friends. So I showed everybody what happens when best friends get into a fight for your benefit.
Brings on a whole new meaning to friends with benefits.
Right?
Not going there. Not said I wasn't going there.
PG.
But
Yeah.
I do want to mention that I think it's really difficult for people born before millennials to bring that creativity to the table, to say, hey, it's okay to have fun, because we watch you guys have fun and we go, that was super creative. Like, that was fun. And we sit there and watch it. We're doing the same thing, watching the Gap videos for hours on end. But then when it comes to actually, okay, now let's look at your business and how are you going to do that? And it's like, and then we go flatline, because it's we've been so ingrained that that part of us does not have a position in this office, and you're not allowed to do that. That it just got and went down. And I think it's so important to be able to work with somebody like you, to be able to have that creativity and just go, hey, if you were to do something on TikTok about this, like about tech and how much people hate it, what would you do? And then in your brain, it just goes, and you had fireworks and you had 27 ideas before I finished my question.
Yeah. I mean, a couple of things. Number one, baby steps.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you don't have to open your weird vein and just bleed all over the internet instantly. You don't have to do that. Right? Just like anything, boundaries apply. So you can't grow your business without boundaries. If you're going to be too naked, too exposed, then back up, slow down. But another thing is, like, if you really think it's a generational thing, there are a million savvy millennials and even xennials, or whatever the youngins are called these days, who would be delighted to have a collab with you, because you are likely a more established business with a larger list. And so maybe go find yourself a little protege with their own brilliance and go, hey, I want to do something out of the box. What would you do? Because I'm the best at bringing the quirk out of people, but I'm not the only one out on these internet streets doing weird stuff. There's a lot of us.
And I love it. So I was thinking while you were saying that, I had a thought and it just totally flew out of my head, but that's okay.
There it
It'll come
goes.
back. Oh, that's what it was. The naked business ideas, and going, well, the Naked Survivor, whatever show that was, ended up with a huge following, but I don't think they actually showed anything, but the concept was there and you knew it. So being able to bring a little bit of censorship in the right places, properly positioned.
Yes.
You can still, fly your flag and be politically publicly correct all at the same time. With
But
a little bit of help.
even in the pressure to like rise to the current trends of internet culture, that's just more shoulds. I have never done a dance challenge. I have never done a point at the caption, boppity, whatever, because that's not me. I'd rather dramatically lip sync something from Broadway or just stare into the camera like a creep because I'm going to pretend to be cranky at my audience that day. That's me. Weird? Yes. Internet-y? Yes. When people go, oh, she's so clever. Yes, of course. Does it get them to consume my content? Yes, it does. Am I dancing and pointing and using trending TikTok sounds? Heck no, I am not. right?
But I
So
may take
watch
that little
out to
snippet and
not
turn it
trend,
into a TikTok.
All right, we'll both dance to it. Ha, 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 right? But like resist the urge to trend. Trend is not quirk. Trend is fashion. Right? So if you don't want to dance, don't dance. If you don't want to be on TikTok, don't be on TikTok. If you don't want to be on Instagram, you don't want to there are no shoulds. There are no shoulds in marketing or in sales. There are only experiments and your own gut instincts made flesh through your action. That's it. There are no shoulds.
Nice. So other than somebody shooting on themselves, what stumbling blocks might somebody be having right now as they're listening to this going, oh my God, Annie, I need you in my business so bad?
Well, sales avoidance can be cyclical, right? I know a lot of the people that are listening to the show are very established business owners or C-level. They're climbing from 6 to 7 or even beyond 7 to 8. But there is a vulnerability that comes with new levels, right? New level, new devil. So if you are rebranding and struggling to sell that way, if you have recently lost a business partner, gained a business partner, picked up a new service, become certified in something, stopped doing something. A lot of the people come to me because they're like, I don't know how to talk about myself now that I'm not doing blankety blank anymore. If your clients are growing up, right? If their needs are evolving, you may need to touch in with someone like me just to be like, hold on, I'm losing that love and feeling on my message, or stuff's not quite landing. Why? Maybe it's the audience. Maybe it's you. Maybe you're bored. Maybe it's a bunch of shoulds. Maybe the internet just doesn't like you that day. Let's figure it out together, because ego comes up in this a lot. Understandably, we are the ones taking the risk. We are the ones showing up in the vulnerability, the authenticity, putting out the stuff out into the world in the form of marketing and then delivering the value or the service, right? So we're doing a whole lot. So to turn around on a dime and be like, look at me, I'm out living my life and I want to solve this problem with you. And now I'm going to keep it real and I'm going to solve that problem for you. And now I'm going to charge you money. And then I'm going to go out and do it all again. Sometimes we get whiplash. If you're getting that kind of like, I feel disjointed between my marketing and my selling, or this used to hit and now it doesn't, or this new audience isn't getting it, or I just sense that last thing, find yourself someone to take you by the hand and walk you through that weirdness, because that's the bad kind of weird. That's the chunky, gunky kind of weird. Help find someone to play with, to experiment with, and to guide you through the next best thing that isn't just going to mandate a bunch of to-dos on you, because that's not going to get there.
I love it. And I know our listeners are going to want more from you. So how do they start their journey with you?
If you are in a podcast player right now, stay in that podcast player. Head on over to Too Legitimate to Quit, which is my aforementioned small business strategy show with a pop culture spin. And if you are in need, if you need your hand held, I am a relationship based person. If you're looking for me, I'm looking for you. Here's what I want you to do: reach out to me on a platform with messaging. For me, the best one is LinkedIn. You can just search for my name. I'm on LinkedIn Messenger pretty much at all hours when I'm not on the phone, like AOL 1999. Or if you're not a LinkedIner or not a LinkedIner yet, you can also hit me up on Instagram at Anniepreneur.
Love it. And we will, of course, have all of Annie's links in the show notes. Like she said, open up a new browser and get those links open, because we're not done yet. So, Annie, at what point in life did you know you were special kind of crazy enough to think that you could become an entrepreneur?
You know, I'm super, super lucky. A lot of people have to have this entrepreneurial epiphany. I'm the child of two entrepreneurs. My dad was a business strategist running my mom's business. My mom is a motivational speaker, actually a motivational humorist, now retired. And so for me, it was always, hey, this is a possibility. And people would say, oh, Annie, when are you going to get on stage and speak with your mom or speak like your mom? And I'd be like, never. That's her thing. But even as I rebelled against it, I knew that it was possible. And once I started to figure out what my natural strengths were, I went through a bunch of weird jobs in my 20s, as we all do. and realize that I can be of better service without management and rules and having to wear dress attire. And so I just thought, hey, my parents did it. It's in my blood. It's in my genes. I started, faxing stuff for my mom when I was like 7. So I had it in me, and I just lean in, and I got to choose it all the time, because at least like once a quarter, there's a moment where I'm like, I could just walk into a company right now and just command like a high six salary as the director of a some such somewhere. Happens like once a quarter. But then I have to reinvest, right? I have to re-choose and look at the path to greatest impact, and also what I want for myself. And for me, both of those are me continuing to walk this path of my me-centric business.
Nice. I love it. So peeps, if you're going through that, there is hope. Just keep going. I mean, you've been absolutely awesome. Any last words for our peeps?
Y'all, just remember, wherever level you are, there are gonna be icky, gunky days. If it's one day, it's just a gunky day. It's like a head cold. It'll pass. If it's multiple and it's starting to feel a bit like depression, you might have a little bit of a business depression. And the way to get that out of it is to remember what delights you. Founder delight matters, especially if you're not new to the game, especially if this isn't your first rodeo. What fires you up becomes a magnet to fire them up. You might be counting yourself out of your own success. Recalibrate with what makes you, you, and I bet things get a whole lot easier.
Nice. I love it. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it, and I know how valuable it is.
Oh, it's been a freaking blast. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Peeps, thank you for being here. I'm Michelle Nedelec. Be sure to subscribe to the show, share it with your friends. We love helping entrepreneurs grow.
Are you running a business over 7 figures but still struggling with technology headaches? Pay attention, you do not want to miss this offer. This podcast episode is brought to you by Awareness Strategies, who is offering a custom-built digital adoption roadmap for anyone running a business over 7 figures who's wanting to grow their business in the next 5 years. And it's not just a roadmap, they offer full implementation as well if that scares the out of you. Check out awarenessstrategies.com/roadmap for more details today. The link's in the show's notes. Don't regret not doing this. Do it now. That's awarenessstrategies.com/roadmap.